は、すみれです。
こんばんは、ライアンです。
なんで
Because it's night
time. Okay. 今日は、なんだろう。特に何も決めずに話してるんですけど、私たちは英語を教えているので、今日はちょっと英語に関することを何かお話ししてみようかなと思います。何話す？What are you doing?
Itchy nose.
So, you teaching English in Japan now? And what do you think about Japanese English ability?
In Japanese English ability? On average for kids or for the adults?
Both.
Well, I mean, kids are still learning. I mean, young kids don't know English, so. For adults, I think there's a basic. On average, I think it's a basic understanding of simple English, beginner level English. But as far as fluency goes, on average, I think Japan is very low on its fluency.
Yeah, but we study English for I think 6 years at least. Like
in your standardized
junior high school and high school.
Yeah.
And now I think younger kids study more in like elementary school and university too. So at least 6 years and more, we studying English. Then why it's like compared to other countries, why you think that it's more low?
For one thing, the English education programs for young children, so kindergarten through elementary school, is not really designed for fluency. It can vary. It varies in school in their programs. But if you go by the national standard, they'll learn very basic sentences, very simple greetings. Hello, how are you? I feel happy. It's nice to meet you. I mean, very simple things. But any question that requires them to think freely, outside of a memorized question and response, they're not able to do that for the most part. Obviously there are exceptions, but for the most part they're not able to do that.
Why?
Because it's not taught. They don't learn how to do that. They learn vocabulary and they learn sentences and they learn very basic skills, which kids in the West learn too, how to count things, what colors are, and that's fine. But when you get into elementary into the middle school, probably on average, the Japanese kids are reading like middle school kids will struggle with elementary, like beginner English books if you wanted them to read a book. They're not taught to have a conversation. They're not really taught to develop a fluency in English. They are taught a list of vocabulary, and this word means this in Japanese, and this word is this in Japanese, and this sentence is this in Japanese, and then they take a test, and then that's it. The next test doesn't really have anything to do with what they had just done. They learn a new set of words and a new set of expressions, and then they take a test, and then that's it. So there's no interaction with the teacher. There's no conversation in the class. They just take notes in their lecture. and maybe they'll repeat words in the class, but that's for the most part that's all they really get. If they go to like an international school when they're very young, those kids from those schools tend to do a little bit better. Most of those are taught by native speakers of English, and so they're in an environment of all English all the time. So they try to get them in the habit of speaking if they have a question or if they need something to say that in English. And they'll do. I mean, they're not super fluent, but they're better. On the average, they'll do better. In general, I think of any age group, children and adults, I think students need more conversational practice, regardless of whatever level they're at. They need to get more comfortable with the English that they do understand. And I think they need to sort of get comfortable with the idea that it's okay to make mistakes when you're learning another language, because everybody's going to.
Yeah, but a lot of people believing like they need more vocabulary to speak, or they have to study more grammar. And they keep studying. Like before, talk to native English speaker. They feel it's not enough.
Well, yeah, but if you go with the perfect mindset, I need to be perfect before I start, is an oxymoron. If you don't use it, you will never be perfect. Your pronunciation will always be off. You'll always struggle to get the sentences put together because you haven't trained your mind to actually use the English. And knowing the words is not the same thing as fluency. Being able to read and write is important, but that does not mean you'll be able to hear and speak the language. And just like hearing English and understanding what someone's saying to you doesn't directly translate to your ability to put together a sentence in your head and respond, to speak the language. You have to practice all of those things. All those things together is fluency, your fluency level. So yeah, vocabulary is important, but even if it's, so this is a little bit more difficult, I think, for adult students because we have more life experience. And so the things we want to say tend to be a bit more nuanced, more detailed, bigger scope in the mind, and it can be very frustrating to try to translate that into another language when the language you know, the level you know, is very basic. So you tend to sound like a little kid trying to talk about serious subjects, right? So that can be frustrating. So that's where people get this idea, I need to know more vocabulary so I can say what it is I'm actually thinking or feeling. It's really better just to kind of understand basically what you want to say and use more simple terms and get used to saying it. And you can replace words and reform the sentence later as you get used to doing that. But really the most important...
We use this.
I'm leaving all of this in. I'm not
Okay.
going to edit any of this out.
ちょっとカメラが切れたので途中で撮り直してます。はい。ということで、私たちはネイティブの英会話を教えてるんですけど、2人で英会話を教えてて、What?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. ライアンが英語を教えてるんですけど、一応初心者の方には一応私が通訳したりとか日本語でちょっとお手伝いできるところはしながらやってるっていう感じで、私の意見としてもネイティブの先生に最初からなれるのがいいんじゃないのかなっていうふうに思ってるんですね。日本人の先生がダメとかそういう話では全然ないんですけど、もしね習ってるところで日本人の先生ですごいいい先生がいるのであればそれで続けてもらったらいいかなって思ってます。What? what?
Nothing.
Okay. でもでもネイティブの人と私もずっとそういう風に自分が英語を勉強してきた時はずっと常にネイティブの人と話すっていうのを心がけてたんですけど、やっぱり海外に行ったら何のために英語を話すのかって言ったら、やっぱりその外国人の方と話すために英語を習ってるっていうのがあると思うので、やっぱりその外国人の方に通じるかとか発音とかいろんなことを含めて最初から慣れていくのがいいんじゃないのかなっていうふうに私は思うんですね。で、なので私たちの教え方としては初心者の方でも皆さん全員ウェルカムでもうなんていうの、ちょっとできるようになってから来るとかっていうんじゃなくって、最初からこうね何言うかわからなくなっちゃったもういいや、最初からビギナーの方でも来てもらえたらなっていうふうに思うんですけど、そうですね。さっき言ってたようにやっぱり自信をつけるとか間違えてもいいから話すとか、そういうことが一番大事だと思ってて、文法とか単語ももちろん基礎は大事なんですけど、そこじゃなくってもっとどんどん練習して自信をつけていくっていう失敗しても恐れずもっとやっていくっていう、そういう考え方とかそういうことが一番やっぱり大事なんじゃないかなっていうふうに思っています。はい。
None?
No.
No.
はい、そんな感じでまたなんかいろいろお話できたらいいなっていうふうに思ってるんですけど、なんかそういう感じで私たちは英語を教えています。またね、なんか英語教育に関する何かいいなんか有益な情報がお話できたらいいなって思っているので、これからも見てもらえたら嬉しいです。はい、OK。見ていただきありがとうございます。またね。
Good night.